I grew up in rural New Brunswick, so growing up I was always really connected to nature. I was always outside, camping with my family, things like that. So I was always really interested in the environment from a really young age. My name is Courtney Piercy, and I'm a project biologist at ECW. So I was always interested in conservation, especially with respect to the marine environment. I really love the ocean. It's really interesting that there's so much of it that is just so undiscovered, understudied, and so much that we just don't know. So I studied at the University of New Brunswick, and I have a Bachelor of Science where I majored in marine biology, and I also have an education degree as well. So my main role here is working on a project related to marine conservation and planning in the Bay of Fundy. Canada has committed to protecting 25% of our ocean by 2025 and 30% of our oceans by 2030. A marine protected area is an area of the ocean that has a goal of protecting important habitats or species. These areas can also benefit our coastal economy through tourism, fishing, and aquaculture as well. Part of my role with the outreach and engagement of this project is to talk to these stakeholders and find out what concerns they may have about marine protection and bring that information back to decision makers when they're in the planning process. So there's many stakeholders involved. It could be anything from industry, so fishing, aquaculture, tourism, community members. All of us are connected to our oceans here. There's social connections, there's cultural connections, and big economic connections as well.
Our organization is called Eastern Charlotte Waterways, but we're actually transitioning to ECW because we're expanding the scope of our activities. We do a lot of different things here at Eastern Charlotte Waterways, like integrated watershed management, coastal zone management, sustainable development and community capacity building, climate change adaptation and mitigation planning. We also do a lot of education and awareness. My name is Zaria Sorel, and I'm the Sustainability Program Manager at ECW. So I took my undergraduate at Santa Fe in Antigonish, and I did aquatic resources with public policy and social research. And then I did my master's at UNB, and I did a Master of Environmental Management. So I manage the car share program that we have. We use electric vehicles, and the reasoning for that is that it reduces our community and corporate greenhouse gas emissions, and then also it provides a transportation solution to communities that don't otherwise have them. So the main goal of the car share program is to reduce our greenhouse gas emissions in Charlotte County, and that aligns with Canada's Climate Action Plan. So I'm also working on another project. We'll be buying 50 hydroponic towers and then having an indoor farm year-round. And because the building used to be a grocery store, it's since been closed, so we bought it with the idea that we would provide food to a community that otherwise is located in a food desert. Some of the benefits of indoor farming is that you're not using any insecticide, herbicide, or fertilizers on our crops. And the water is recirculated, so we're not causing any runoff into our local watershed. Indoor farming uses energy, which we're offsetting by using geothermal energy, which is a renewable energy source. Another benefit of having the indoor farm in Blacks Harbour is that it'll create a reduction in our food miles. And food miles are the distance that your food travels from farm to grocery store and then grocery store to your plate. All of these things help us reduce our carbon footprint and produce food for our community. As a mom, it's really important for me that my sons see that you can make a difference if you want to, and that there are jobs here where you can make that difference and you don't have to go necessarily far away from home to do it.
I would tell high school students that green jobs in the province here in New Brunswick could take on many forms. It could be working in an environmental nonprofit situation like myself, but many different companies these days are looking at how they can have green jobs or reduce their impact on the environment just in their day-to-day operations as well. So there's many different opportunities.